aquí up front. Nasi Sanabe. Nasi Sanabe. Welcome, my friends. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. I gotta drink my agua. Because the weather's actually getting warmer. I'm like, give me some water. Somebody bring me some water, and somebody bring me my happy little thing, because we've got a phenomenal feature this evening from Larry O'Dean, and I've already started putting, yeah, oh yeah, we got one. Oh, all right, how about it? Give it up one for Rachel, yeah, bravo! Yeah! Now all right, I'm passing over to you first. What? So you start putting money in there because, you know, should pay a few months rent or at least his utilities, because we know how they're going really up right now. So we might as well get that taken care of for this phenomenal feature tonight. Thank you, that'd be awesome. I was going to read a few things from an older book that was going to be put into an audio CD, and it is called The Window, which was originally home printed and had different printing things, but it has just been released in a larger volume. And I was going to read 3 really short pieces from this, and they're all entirely different, so please bear with me. This first one is called Raking Leaves. Too many leaves. Let me help you, I say. Let me hold this bag for you. You've grown so much. You're doing all the hard work now, and every year there seems to be more and more leaves. It's too much for your father to do. Too many leaves. Why does there have to be so many this year? Why does there seem to be so many more? They almost cover up all of the windows now. Next year you won't even be able to see the house anymore. The leaves will take over. They'll be like our house was never even there. Too many leaves. Won't you help me, my son? You're so good. I think this one, in amongst them all, is probably a more interesting one. This one is called Poem. P-O-A-M, a poem, Conversation with Jimbo Breen. This is dedicated to Steve, who is going to be a Marine, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a poem. And we sat at the poolside together, you asking me about how I've been as the sun beat down, and we talked about nuclear war. You said you didn't believe in it, and I strained to understand why. For you, the man of war, the man whose body was his temple, the man who would fight to the death, you loved the thought of victory, the thought of war, of pain, of triumphancy. And I sat there in the swimming pool, and you sat at the edge. I paused. Then it occurred to me, you would want a method of fighting more direct, slower, more painful, more personal than a nuclear war. You'd want to fight them one-on-one, man-to-man, with your fists. And your eyes lit up. I was beginning to understand now, only years later. I'll remember you with that American flag in front of your house and your love of battle. From the book With the Window, this piece is called Twin. They tell me I was born 2 months premature. The first of twins. They tell me it was difficult, my birth. I still can't even hear in one ear. I have an indentation in my chest on my right side where they had to run a tube in me to keep me alive. They tell me that they kept Douglas alive for 3 weeks, but he just couldn't survive. I wonder what it would have been like to have someone look just like me. We could switch places, fool everyone. We'd be inseparable. My family doesn't talk about him much, but sometimes I still think of him. Maybe with the medical world today, he would be alive. Sometimes I feel like I'm not whole. I totally missed this last week, and you're leaving that on. I see him dealing with stuff. I'm leaving that because the next reader, I so want to have him recorded. So he's like, I'm going to go mess with your camera. And I'm like, no, I'm keeping that. I know what I'm doing, Mr. Rand, but thank you. I feel really bad because Sunday I totally missed Poetry Bomb. I know it. How many? I think Bob was off in Logan Square. Awesome for you, and I would love to hear about. Pardon me? Oh, you were late. I thought you were in Logan Square.
Just a few blocks from here.
Just a few blocks. Oh, you were nice and close. It's so cool to read outside. That's awesome to hear. I feel really bad that I missed out on it. But then for everybody who's not interested, I just found out that a movie is coming out this Friday, and that's Atlas Shrugged, Part 1. And I was going to say, oh, you just said, oh, I didn't even know it was existing, and you know of the Ayn Rand thing. Atlas Shrugged Part 1 is coming out this Friday in movie theaters, and I'm like, what? Why did I not? It was totally free, and so I'm going to have to go see it. So I think next week.
You're not going to go, are you?
Oh, I'm so going.
No, you are not.
You are actually supporting.
I love the man too much.
Of course I am, and I think next week after I see it, I'm going to have to read my Ayn Rand poem just to piss everybody off.
I think it's the liberal version of Atlas Shrugged.
That's right.
It's the liberal media doing all that crap, so probably it is, right?
Media. There isn't one.
It's the media, therefore it's liberal. I have no idea, but I will. One other thing from cc&d magazine, and this is a poem from Joy Davis. And it is called The Big Bang, and it also happens to have 4 NASA photos of, clusters and nebulas and things from the Hubble telescope.
No photo with the Big Bang, though, you can be sure of that.
Exactly, because it's all just a big, cluttered mess. But this is a poem called The Big Bang by Joy Davis. History says that renovation is quick and careful. They matter still too early to speculate. I didn't expect to wonder how the world generates 1,000 days of an accident, a wreck. Yet, that's the case. The door slams, and I can hear the accident filled with information. Thank you, Joy. What a joy to read Joy. We wanted to do one piece, and I was looking for a song to cover that was an older one. This was written in 1925. I think the first person that ever sang it was Bing Crosby, I think. I believe, tons of people. I think I even heard a version by the Mamas and the Papas that covered this song, which I so don't sound like that, and I don't think that anybody has an acoustic version of it, so I hope you appreciate this song called...
The Mamas and the Papas is probably an acoustic version.
Oh yeah, but it's probably much crappier right home. I'm sorry. It's just never just bad. Sorry. This is called, which I can still hear them singing, Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once once in khaki suits. Gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodle-de-dum. 500,000 boots went sliding through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember? They called me Al. It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember? I'm your pal, brother. Can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodle-de-dum. 500,000 boots went sliding through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember? They called me Al. It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember? I'll be your pal, brother. Can you spare a dime? Buddy, can you spare a dime? Thank you very much.